A very good morning, everyone. I hope that you are doing well. Uh, Also, welcome to week 5. We were not able to meet yesterday. I had to cancel our class due to certain reasons, and the reason was basically because I had a power outage in my area of residence. We didn't have power since last night as well. It came back just about half an hour ago. Uh, we had a situation whereby there were a few burnt properties, so with that the power lines got burnt as well. So luckily we have the power now, so we can get on with our syllabus. Now for week 5, there were few things to note. For week 5, let me just quickly go over the two lists. Okay, now you were supposed to attend the Zoom based lecture class. Now our class got cancelled yesterday, so what I will be doing is, instead of hosting another class altogether, whereby you might need to sort out the timetable if I would host another Zoom class. So to make it simple, what I'll do is I will record the lecture, and then the recorded version will be placed on Moodle. So in the lecture, there will be discussion of the tutorial notes and also the discussion of the lab exercises from last week. So that's on lecture notes and the lecture recording. Moreover, you are to attempt your lecture-based quiz. Also, you have to attend your Zoom class, which you're doing at the moment. So those of you who have joined us, thank you very much. Now, also begin to work on your project 1. Now, there are a few of you who have already submitted, for which I'm very, very glad. So thank you. For those of you who have already submitted, I am yet to see your assignments. Generally, what I do is after the due date, that's where I go around checking all the assignments through Turnitin and then downloading them, and then eventually I start the marking phase altogether. So those of you joined, those of you have already submitted, thank you. Okay, I appreciate your time and efforts to get the assignment done well before time. And also you have your short test 1, which is already on already under my assessments section of the Moodle shell. So if you look at it, this is where it is now. Your short tests basically open up on the 22nd of August, Sunday morning, 6 a.m., the previous Sunday, and it's closing on this week Sunday. So you have a total of about 12 to 13 days to, so not sorry 12 to 13, but 7 to 8 days to actually go and attempt your quiz. Now there are some of you who have already attempted it. Well done. Those who haven't, you still have time. So I have fed in the reminders on Moodle announcements as well for you to go and attempt your short test 1. Now please ensure that you are only given 1 attempt. Okay, now those of you, just in case if there's a network drop or anything, or there's error in with the Moodle shell or with the FNU's Moodle server, I will be notified of those errors. Okay, even if there's a drop in network, it will be notified to me. Okay, so I will be able to reassign the quiz to you once again, provided if there are any genuine reasons and errors. Now you have a time. The time is very limited. It's 30 minutes and 1 attempt. So please ensure that you are preparing yourself very, very well for the short tests. And also, do note that your question and answer review. Now, unlike your weekly lecture-based quizzes, generally, as soon as you attempt, you are told either your answer is correct or incorrect and what is the correct answer. Over here in short tests, this is not actually the case. In short tests, what happens is generally, or what I have set up for this particular short test specifically, is once all of you have done your quiz, okay, so after the 29th of August, 11:59 p.m., or most likely on the 30th of August, there's a time everything will be released to you. The question, which question was marked correct or done correctly or incorrectly, and what is the correct answer. So reviews will be provided after you have attempted the quiz. Now, for week 5, I hope all of you did. All of you were able to get the message yesterday. Class was cancelled. I've tried my best to get it on Moodle with the limited resources I had in terms of power supply and also the battery on my devices. So I had put up a message here, and generally when there's a class cancellation or anything, you will have messages popping up in announcement section. So please do ensure as soon as you go or logging into Moodle, one of the very first things that you should do is go and check your announcements always. Now for week 5, okay, now what I will do is I have an exercise on layer masking. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll quickly upload 1 or 2 pictures in which we are going to work with. So while you're there, let me just add it up. Now you won't see this, those which are grayed out, you won't be able to see that, don't worry about them. Okay, work on the picture that I am putting on at the moment. Okay, so you have an image of a puppy over there. Now, can you download this please very, very quickly? And I need another image to work with. So this is a website that I generally use to download my images. Okay, so today, this is a very good website where you find a lot of images, and these images are all free. They are royalty free as well. That means you do not have to pay anything for these images. So I want to get an image of a child as well. This is just a method of me showing you how to get around or how to get images or download images. So let me grab hold of this image. Now, when you want to download it, you'll generally have to sign in. I'm already signed in. So just in case if you have not signed in, so when you download, it will ask you to, basically it'll ask you to fill in something for the capture images. Capture images, sometimes you have multiple images, it will ask you to go and select all the images with traffic lights and so forth. So I've already signed in using my Gmail account. So once I click on download, choosing what file size I want it to be, and I can quickly paste it in whichever folder I want. So I will name this as child, okay? And I'm also placing this on Moodle. So you have the image of the puppy with you. Pardon me for uploading the images quite late. I've been struggling with the power outages for the past few days. So quickly pull this down so that it doesn't interfere with your page. All right, so these 2 images, can you go and download them up, please? So once you have downloaded the picture, next thing is our photo editing site, photopea.com. Open that up and we'll start working on this. Now, today what we're working on is we're working on layer masking. Now, layer masking can be used for a variety of things, but one of the most industry standard things is something that we're going to work on today. It's not going to be very, very simple. At the same time, it is not going to be very, very difficult as well. It's quite easy, but at the same time, it's challenging as well, because there's a lot of series of steps. So you will need to ensure that you are adhering to all the steps very, very carefully. Okay, so what I'll do next is I will go and open up the puppy image. So very quickly, file, open, and I will open up this specific image. I'll request all of you to do the same. Okay, so once you're there, what I want you to do is, now I will direct you today to do certain things on your own. I'd like you to go and select the portion, the entire puppy with this box or crate, whatever it is. Can you go and select all of this? Now you have a few options. You can use the quick selection tool, or you can also go around using magic tool selection of, or you can choose basically combination of quick selection, magic wand selection tool, and lasso tool. So use any of those combinations and try to select this puppy. So while you're doing it from your end, I'm also doing from this end as well. Now, if you use quick selection tool, it just selects the entire thing straight away. I'll give you 5 minutes to actually go and do the selection, please. In fact, I'll give you 2 minutes. You can use quick selection tool. It just selects the entire area that we wanted it to select. I've got 1 more minute with you. All right. So once you have selected it, the next thing that I would like you to do is refer to your layers panel. So this is your layers panel. So within the layers panel, you have something called as a layer mask. Now, do notice the difference. If you use Photoshop, it's called layer mask, but this is the button that we're referring to. But in photopea.com, it's labeled as a raster mask. Now, why different name? Why not the same name? Because that name, layer mask, is Photoshop's own copyrighted name. They have rights for it. Okay, so therefore they have labeled this as raster mask. It means the same thing. It does the same thing. So can you go and add a raster mask, please? All right. So once you've added the raster mask, the next thing that you'll do is let's go and refine our image. Okay. Now, what I specifically want to do at the moment is this. So this is what the final outcome I want it to be. I want to select this entire image, the puppy, as well as the crate, and I want these edges to be as refined as possible. And Photoshop, or in this case, photopea.com, allows us a simple process to go around refining our image. So you'll go to select command from the menu option, select command from the menu bar, and then from there, can you go and select the next command called as refine edge. Place a click on it. Now, with raster image, with the layer masks or raster mask, let's just call it as masks so that I'm not confusing you. With masks, what happens is whatever is white, okay, if your brush color is in white, that means you are showing those items. And if it's in black, that means you are hiding those items. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll choose a white color and I want this to be selected. Okay, so if I would release the button from my mouse, what you'll see is whatever I've selected goes on the other side. So that is your final version. So what you'll have to do is very slowly ensure that you have selected everything. Now, why are we doing this? Why not we can just select and copy and paste? Because this is what we want to achieve. The final outcome that we actually want to achieve would not work with other different types of tools. So this is what I want you to do, to actually go and select elements on the screen. So whatever you're selecting or whatever you have selected, you'll see on the right hand side of the screen. If things are small for you, you can always press Control and plus to zoom in. So you'll notice is that the portion of white image here and here. So I can go and select that. If you have selected outside that range, don't worry, I'll tell you how to go around removing it. I'm giving you 5 minutes for this. So 5 minutes is a lot of time. Take your time and try to get this done properly. Now, can I have your attention here on the screen? All right. Now, have a look at this. I have selected a bit outside, for example, here. Okay. I've selected this portion, and when I see on the right hand side, I picked a bit of the background as well. Same thing here on the edge of the crates. Now, to actually deselect this, what I need to do is, remember, I mentioned white is what you're selecting, black is what you're hiding or removing. So I'm choosing the black color now, and I'm going to click on it. So if you will see it very carefully and slowly, I'm clicking on it, what it does, it retains how it was, and it drops off the background options. Just in case if you have selected outside the range, please go and adjust it accordingly. Just in case when you are trying to adjust the background and you tend to select the portion of the puppy or the crate, what you can do is you can switch to white color and then select it all over. Do feel free to adjust the size of your brush. Open rectangular bracket, make it smaller, and closing rectangular bracket to make it bigger in size. Give it 2 more minutes. There's one more thing left in this particular phase. After 2 minutes, I'll let you know. Take time, try to select things properly. Okay, let's continue. Now, the major purpose of using refined edge is so that your edges get very, very smooth. Now, if you look at the selection, if you look at my selection, my edge is no way in any particular way. It is not smooth at all. So if I tend to make it smooth, if I want to make it smooth, I will choose my black color, that's the removal layer, and then I will gradually run my cursor or my brush tool over it. So what it will do is you'll have to run it very slowly so that your edges become smooth. Now, same thing I want to do it this side. If you feel your brush is too small, try to have it in a little bigger size, probably somewhere around 30 to 35 sizes will be listed here, and then run it around the edges. Same thing with his ear. If it's too small, zoom in and then adjust it accordingly. Okay, my image looks way more better than what it was. How about yours? I'll give you 2 minutes to work on this. All right, so once you have done this, you have adjusted, you're satisfied that this is what you actually want to have, click on the OK button. So when you click on the OK button, notice what happens. Your previous image with the mask, okay, it's hidden, all right? And then you have a new layer showing in, which is labeled as background. And with that, what you'll see is the entire of the background, or in other words, only the selection is displayed, whatever you had selected in Refine Edge. Okay, and also notice the edges of your image, the crate as well, okay, is very much refined. So that was the purpose of using the Refine Edge. So when you refine the edges, click on OK, it'll give you the entire selection in a completely new layer. All right. Now, the next thing what I want to do is I would like you to go and relabel the layer, the one that is active on your screens. Okay, relabel it as puppy. Okay, so once you've done that, now we need a background, and I want the background to go completely white in color. Now to do that, what I will do next is I will feed in a new layer. So how do I get a new layer? Layers panel, okay? The very last button that you have is delete, and next to it, you have new layer. Place a click on it. So once you have a new layer, can you go and rename your layer as background color? Now do notice that, okay, previously when we wanted to label or basically fill our layer with a certain color, we used to go to edit, fill, and then foreground, okay, and then we went around choosing a specific type of color. Okay, now for here you can do something different. Let's go and try that today. Okay, so with your background color layer selected, what you will do is, okay, you need ensure which color you want to select. Now I want to select color white. So I'm choosing right at the top edge left, okay, of the color palette, and I click on OK. So I'm signifying that I'm choosing a white color. After that, I will need to go to something called as a paint bucket tool. So the paint bucket tool is right above the blur tool, okay? Now your gradient tool and paint bucket tool basically reside in the same button, okay? So what you'll do is you'll click and hold, and on the left hand side, you'll have a pop-up menu which will give you the gradient tool and also the paint bucket tool. Okay, let me repeat that. Change the color to white. How do I change it to white? White normally resides on the top left edge of the color palette. Take it there, take the marker somewhere up there and click on OK. After that, you'll go and select your gradient tool, click and hold. From there, choose paint bucket tool. And remember, since your background layer is selected, place a click on it. Everything will go white, and it should go white. If there's someone who wants me to repeat the step, do let me know. Now, everything on our foreground layer has gone white. Now, I want the background to be white only, and the other remaining things to be as it was. So what I'll do is this background color layer, I'll drag it right at the very bottom of the layer list. Do notice what we were discussing about layers and the arrangement of layers last week. Generally, the layer which resides on top, that layer would be showing on top, or the contents of that layer will be showing on top of the other layers. So your background color goes at the back, and your poppy layer with the picture of the poppy basically comes on top. So far, so good, everyone. If there's any questions or queries, feel free to hover back, or feel free to give me a chat message, so I'll know that you are facing any difficulties or so forth. Now, next up, what I want to do is I want you to activate your free transform tool. How do you activate your free transform tool? Basically, you can go to Edit and free transform command. So one option. The other option is Alt, Control, and P. So when you apply this combination keys, you'll have your placeholders coming in. So with your placeholders coming in, I'd like you to press and hold the Shift button and drag this in. Now, do notice this. When you're applying your free transform tool, you actually want to apply it to the image. Now, at the moment, am I doing it correctly? No, I'm not. Why? Because I've selected the background color layer, not that layer. I need to go and select the poppy layer and then apply my free transform tool, and then try to make the image a bit smaller in size. So press and hold Shift button and make it smaller, okay? Something like this. All good, everyone? Any questions, any queries? No? If no questions, no queries, let's continue. Next up, I want you to go to your type tool. So the type tool is the T from here, okay? So go to your type tool and select type tool, and then choose a font type. Now the font type, you can choose any of your own, okay? But for this particular moment, I want you to go and choose the font type called Destroy. This is the one, Destroy. The size, let's keep it to 40 so that whenever, as soon as we start typing in, it shows a bit bigger in size. The size, keep it to 40. Let me repeat that. Tab tool, font type is destroy, size is 40 pixels. Now, once you've done that, let's go and type something up. As soon as you start typing, you'll notice that on your left-hand side, okay, first of all, it will load all the sizes and all the font type. And your left-hand side, you have a layer coming in. Now, we'll modify the layer name just in a while. But for the moment, all of your characters in uppercase means capital letters, type down Pet Show 2021. And once you have actually worked on it, next up is use the free transform tool, holding your shift button, try to make this bigger in size. And this is what I would like to do. Try to adjust the size of your text somewhere, okay, little slightly bigger than what you have for your image. For example, if you look at the size here, it's slightly bigger than the image. So this is fine for me. Now I want you to do something similar. Even though you're placing somewhere on top in the middle, but it should be slightly bigger. See, one goes on the other side of the image on the right hand side, and P basically resides somewhere on the left hand side, so slightly bigger. So an alphabet on the right hand side extending to the image, and an alphabet on the left side extending to the image, to have it something like that. All right, with me, everyone? Now, once you've done that, double click on your text layer and rename it as text. Now, it's very important for you to rename your layers. Why? Because just in case, if you have a lot of layers, at the moment we have 3 or 4. Now, sometimes there may be possibilities that your number of layers, if you're working in a very large file, it can go more than 100. If that's the case, renaming is very important. It will easily allow you to go and edit the layers, locate them quickly and edit them. At the same time, naming your layers to something of an appropriate name is also important. Now, once you have done that, the next thing that I would like you to do is this. I'd like you to go and select your text. That means you are selecting your text layer with your selection tool activated, double click on the text and press Ctrl A to select everything. All right, so this is how you would go around selecting. Now, just in case, what you can do in future, if you're working with text, this is just a method of me telling you, you can always use your warp tool to go and warp it up. When we say warp, I think we've already worked with warp tool in the previous lab exercises. So this is where you can go around. This is just a method of me giving you some additional information. You can always go around changing the color. You can change the alignment. You can also go around changing the font type. All right. Now, at the moment, we're not going to change anything in there. After that, what I want you to do is this. Select your puppy layer. Okay. And then drag your image somewhere around here. Now, the top head section of that copy, okay, basically try to get it done somewhere over here. The eye level should be matching the very top of our text. Something like this. Once you've done that, the next thing that I want you to see is this. If you look at E202, okay, try to make your text a bigger in size so that it covers up a little bit of this palette or box, whatever it is, tries to cover a bit of that area. So how would I do that? Remember, I just showed it to you. Okay, so you'll go to your text layer, double click to select, or if you're not able to do so, you can always go and press Ctrl A to select everything. Okay, so on my text layer, I'll select everything. There's two options. Either you can increase the size to the size in pixels. That means I can make it to 175 or something like that. Or what I prefer is something which is not very much controlled. That is, I press Ctrl plus Alt plus T. It gives me that free transform option. And with that, I can extend this a bit. And once you're satisfied with the size, you can press enter to select that particular size and deactivate your free transform tool. All right, with me? Next up, can you again go and select your puppy layer, and from it, can you go and put in another layer mask? How do I put in a new layer mask? Layers panel, add a raster mask. Okay, so once you have done that, now do remember this with our brush tool. White means it will make it visible, and black means it will remove something. So what I want to do is I want to have my brush tool activated. This is the brush tool. I've activated it. Okay, and then right at the very bottom where we are showing the foreground and the background colors, you have an arrow pointing up and also to the right hand side. Click on it, it switches the color. Now this is a switch color button. So switch it in such a way whereby black is your foreground color, and with your brush tool activated, you will come in to that particular portion of the screen. This is where I want you to edit. Okay, I want you to edit this where I the O from there. Okay, and you go and remove that portion of that image. If you think that you've chosen extra, stop back to white color and get it shown up again here with the 0 contents, which is inside the circle. Remove that. Only those two. With that done, this is what I want to do next is select your puppy layer, do a right click over it, and click on the command duplicate layer. So you have a new layer coming in, copy, double click on it and clip and call it as clipping. Why clipping? I'll tell you why. Why I rename as clipping, I'll just, you'll get to know in just a few seconds why. Now, the clipping layer, what I would like to do next is take it on top of the text layer. Notice the changes in your image. Okay, the clipping layer, you're taking it on top of the text layer because whatever you have done with the previous layer, you're just placing it on top. Now, what happens? Do notice this. Right where you have your text layer, on top of it, you have an image, and the bottom of it, you exactly have the same image. You notice that because you have two layers. So this and this, they are same because we had created duplicate copies of those. So this resides straight at the bottom and this resides straight at on the top. So what I want to do next is from my clipping layer, I will select the mask only. This is where you're selecting the picture and this is you're selecting the mask. Can you do that, please? Select your mask, everyone. So once you have selected your mask, do a right click over it and click on delete raster mask. Let me recall it. Select your mask, right click, delete your raster mask. And everyone, now once you've done that, do a right click over your clipping layer and then choose the option called clipping mask. Okay, right click and choose the option called clicking mask. Now, once you've done that, you should be able to see something like this, but it makes no difference. Now, I'll tell you where the difference will be done. Now, look at your layers very, very carefully. So first of all, you have a clipping layer, then text layer, copy layer. Your background layer is hidden, let it be hidden. And then you have a background color layer. Now, where you have the copy layer, I'd like you to select it and hide that layer. So how do you hide it? You have a show and hide button with an eye icon, click on it. And what happened? So you have basically just created a set of text which has been manipulated by images. And just in case if you feel that you want to show the face of the puppy, what you can do is you can select your clipping layer and pull it a bit more down. So there it goes. Or if you want, you can drag it to any of the sides. So you have that option to actually get it done. Now, just in case if you feel your text size is too small, you can always go and readjust it. So how do you readjust? Select your text layer. That done, activate your free transform tool, Alt plus Control plus T combination key, and then you can press your shift key and then drag it a bit more down. So with that being done, what happens is basically you are able to occupy more of the screen space. And you can see the rest of that picture behind the text. So let's say if you're creating a poster, if I would ask you to create a poster, you can get something like this done to your text, and then you can add some images at the bottom, or you can even just have that, and then the rest of the information can reside somewhere in the middle. And there's one more thing that you can do with the text. Now, just in case if you do not like this color to be black, what you can do is you can always go and change the color. So with the text layer selected, double click. Remember, I just showed it to you a while back. Double click, to actually go and select the text, and then Control A to select everything from there. Once you've done that, you can go to the color palette and choose a different color. Let's say I want to choose a portion of red. So with that being said, I can select that specific red, any combination that you want to, click on your OK button, and there you go. Let's say you're still unhappy with this color. You can go and change again. So double click to get your cursor placed in between the text, Control A to select everything, and then I can change it to any specific of blue color and click OK. There you go. Choice is yours, which color you actually want to have. All right, so this finishes up our very first lab exercise for the day. Any questions, any queries, anyone? Now, in the next exercise, we'll be doing something similar, okay? Something very similar so that you can get well versed with it. Now, where can you use these things? I've just given you an example in posters. You can also have these in image manipulations, whereby you would like to go around and do some inventive work with the images. So this is another place where you can use this feature. Moreover, this is very much used in t-shirt designs. You can have this something like this in t-shirt designs even. I would suggest you to go and have a look at Amazon Match. Amazon Match, I don't know if you've seen this or not, or you do not, if you know it or not. If you are good in graphic design and with inventive ideas, it means you're able to invent rather new graphical ideas. What you can do is you can get your artistic work done on Amazon Match, they call it merch. So what you can do is here, how does it work? Simply put your artwork, choose the type of product and color, and add a product description. So what you can do is your artwork could be done on a t-shirt, it could be done on a handkerchief, it could be done on a banner, and so forth. So what Amazon will do is they'll create the product page for you on their website. I do hope you know what Amazon is. It is one of the largest e-commerce sites in the world. And when customers buy the product, Amazon will handle the shipping and everything with no cost. And let's say you sell the item for $14.99, that's USD by the way. If you sell it for $14.99, you will approximately get about $7 to $8 USD from there. Amazon will basically cater for the t-shirt. They will cater for all the shipment costs. They will cater for all the logistics, and you just earn money for some pure artwork. Now have a look at the t-shirt. This is a design. So somebody has bought it and purchased it. And you can always go and track things. The thing is, it requires $0 for you to make an investment. And since you are doing a graphics-based course, why not work on something like this? Come up with new designs and get it done. With layer masking and the example that we have done just now, you can make t-shirts, t-shirt designs rather, and then get yourself signed up in Amazon Match. From there, get designs laid up on your t-shirts and so forth. The only thing with Amazon Merch is that when you're creating this design, the background has to be colorless. So you'll have to hide the background color. No color should be on the background. If you have white, your t-shirt will also have the white section color. So that should be removed. And also, if you're creating colors like what I have done, blue, that will go only in white colors. So you need to ensure you create a design whereby it can go into multiple colors, or you can have multiple designs with different colors for multiple color of t-shirts and so forth. Just giving a hint, feel free to go and check Amazon Match. And if you make some money from there, since I've given you the idea, 50% share for me as well. No, I'm kidding. No 50% share for me. It's your work. You create the designs and so forth. You handle the money, an easy way to earn some money. But the thing is this, when you are creating your t-shirts, make sure it's unique designs whereby people will actually like it and love it. All right. So that's one. of the things that we were supposed to do in today's class. The other thing is we'll work on layer masking just for you to give you a good feel of it with the next image that is up on Moodle. Can you go and download this image, everyone? Download it and open it up on Photopea. Now, this image is going to be tricky. Is going to be a bit tricky with the selection phase, especially with the hair, because the background is already black in color, and the hair is also very much all curled up, and it's blended with the background. We'll try to make it work. Okay. Now, what I need to do is what we did in the first image. First of all, I need you to go around and select this image. Let's make it a bit more fast-paced. We have close to about 45 minutes with us. So try different selection tools. I'll give you any options. It's completely up to you. Use any of the selection tools which best matches your needs and allows you to select this. So please go and select this particular child from the image. So once you've already selected the image, give you some more minutes. It's a typical image for selection. Give you 2 more minutes to get it done. Once you've done that, this time we will not use a layer mask. I'll show you another different way of doing it. What you can do is you can do Control C to copy that and Control V to paste, and then hide your background. Okay, so once you've done that, on top of this image, we will go and try to add a layer mask. Okay, with the image, you added a layer mask. Remember, with layer masks, okay, white color means you can add things up with a brush, and the black color means you're able to remove something. So we will use our black color to make our edges a bit more refined. So instead of using the refine edge feature, we can always go around using this as well. The good thing about using a rest with a mask is that by mistake, if you end up removing some portions that you didn't want to remove, you can always change it back to the white color and get that done already. For example, have a look at this. Let's say I've done this. So I'll go back here, chop it up, get the white color done, and then restore the pixels. That's why we use masking. Now with the hair, it's a bit difficult to control the color, but try to adjust it in a way whereby it looks as realistic as possible. All right, done everyone? Now from here next, we will go and insert in a new layer for the background. Now there are a few options. If you'd like to, since you notice that this is too difficult to edit, you can have the background color in black, or you can also have it in white as well. So the option is completely yours. But just for this exercise, we'll try to have it in white and see how well it looks. Now, normally remember I've been telling you with Photoshop, normally it's a bit of trial and error thing. So we do not know whether it'll look that good that we want the outcome it to be. But if it doesn't look that good, it's all right, we're still learning. So what I'm going to do is I will insert a new layer and call this as background color. And then I'm renaming it background color. Sorry, pardon me. And then this layer needs to come right at the bottom. Now, once you have renamed and then resettled the layer at the bottom of the layers list, so you will select that layer. From there, okay, can you choose your color to white? At the moment, I have back color as my foreground color, and the background color is white. I can always go and reverse the colors using the button, okay? And then from there, I'm going to use my paint bucket tool and paint it white. Done, everyone? After that, what I'll do is I will select the image. Now, this is the mask. This is the image. Image, mask. Select the image. Activate your free transform tool. How do you activate? You can always go to your edit command or edit menu and then choose free transform, or Alt plus Control plus T that activates your free transform tool. And from there, you please press and hold your shift button and make the image a tiny bit smaller in size. And paste it somewhere at the edge. Oh, good, everyone? Now, once you've done that, now we will use our text tool to insert in some text, but this time let's add in a bit of spice to this. How? This is what we'll do. From our tools panel, you have your text tool. Press and hold your text tool. This time, can you go and select vertical type tool? Okay, so you're choosing a vertical type tool. Vertical means top to bottom, vertical. And let's give in your size as 100 at the moment and put your color as black. Font type, if you'd like to, we can change it to something else, or you can keep it the same. It's totally up to you. Okay, I will keep it same as destroy, but if you want to choose another different type of font, please feel free to do so. Okay, so font type is destroy, size I've kept it to 100, color is black. So how do I choose the color? Click on the color palette. Okay, and the color that you want to. In this case, we're choosing black. Click on OK. After that, type something out. Now, this is what we're going to type. We're going to type in uppercase future, F-U-T-U-R-E. You notice the text goes vertically rather than horizontally. Now, once you've inserted the text, activate your free transform tool. How do you activate? With your selection tool activated, Control Alt plus T gives you the free transform tool, and then try to transform it by press and holding your shift button. Now, once you have done that, press enter to confirm size. And then I want you to this time place it somewhere. Okay, it should cover up the eyes and also slightly underneath the nose. Now, not specifically you have to have something very much similar to what I have. It can be slightly different. Okay, choice is yours. How do you want to do this? Okay, so try to have it whereby it portions a little like a quarter of that image. Done that, everyone? Now, after you've done that, the next thing that I would like you to do is what we did previously. Now, what you'll do is you'll copy this layer. So right click on the layer. Now, this is just selecting the mask. This is just selecting the image. Now, selecting here is selecting the layer. So you select the entire layer and create a duplicate of it. And the duplicate layer, how do you know which one is original and which was the duplicate? The one which says layer 1 copy, that one is a duplicate. So double click on it and call it as clipping. Why? Because you will apply a clipping mask to it. call it as clipping. And then place your clipping layer right on top of the text future. Now, one more thing. Pardon me, I forgot to edit one more thing. Do you see this circles here where you have a circular circle for R? Okay, this needs to be edited. You need to remove this portion and slight bit from here as well. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to remove our clipping layer, delete it. How do you delete? So right click on the layer, delete layer. So that's done. Now, before we actually move on or make a duplicate copy of it, this is what I would like you to do. Okay, in this layer you already have a mask, so you don't need to make another mask. So with that mask done, I would like you to go and activate your brush tool. So we want to remove this. So to remove, which color do we need to have for the brush? That color. And go and remove that portion, please. If your brush size is too big, you can always go and edit it up. In other words, make it smaller. Moreover, please also what you see on the left hand side, remove all of that. Now, even if you run your brush tool over the alphabets, you won't remove it because your alphabet layer is on top of that mask. Done, everyone? Take 2 minutes to get it done. If you think I'm going too fast, do let me know. Right, so once you've done that, now you'll duplicate your layer and then place it on top of the text. Upon doing so, select your mask from that layer. Now, before we actually go down removing the mask, let's go and rename your mask as clipping. It's very important to rename it because your if you notice that your layer 1 mask and clipping mask, they're the same. Okay, so you need to rename them. Right, after that, you will select the mask from the clipping layer, do a right click over it and delete the mask. With me so far, everyone? Okay, hope you do notice what happened. If you look at this layer, you have just removed these portions. Remember, the portion between, if you look at future R, the circular portion from here was removed, okay, and this whole section was removed. So upon copying and pasting it right on top, you have removed the mask. So the mask is the one which was editing the factor. So that one had the editing portion in it. So you removed it. So you go back to the original image now. So next thing what we'll do is we will do what the layer name suggests. We will do a mask clipping. Do a right click on the command clipping mask. And you can go and hide layer 1. If you want to move it, so you can always go and move it around. This is what will happen if you show your, yeah, this is actually what happened if you show your layer 1. If you hide it, this is what it comes to. All good, everyone? Any questions, any queries? Now, again, where can you use this? You can use this at a lot of places, in fact. Okay. Now, at the moment, you'll notice what we have done is our text comes somewhere probably in the third three-quarter portion of the page. You can always have it somewhere at the beginning, at the end. You can have it in top, wherever you want. But do ensure that your layers play a very key role here in when you're clipping it. Now, what you're doing is basically you have an image already. From there, you are masking it, you're editing it, and then you are putting text on it. So that image, you want it to be what you want, that image that you have just come up with, you want it to be embedded with the text. Okay, so thereafter you add the text, you duplicate the layer, do some editing in them. Now do notice it, if you wouldn't have removed that portion, what we did here when we are masking, we remove this. If you wouldn't have removed this, what would have happened? You would have text inside it. So we don't want that. Okay, and you had copied the initial image with the mask, remove the mask, and clipped it. So when you're clipping it, you are basically allowing your text to be embedded with that image. So this is what it looks. And the good thing about with this is you can always move it around. Move it around to ensure whichever suits the best, you can get that done. Likewise, there are many more things that you can do with clipping, but this is one of it. And if you are one of those who are yet to submit your assignments and you want to make use of this tool, please feel free to do so. You can embed a lot of things. Now, so far we have been embedding images on text. You can embed images even in any objects. For example, if you have a tree, so you can have something else embedded with the tree. You can do that. It's very much possible. All right, so this is on the lab exercise on today, and the things that we covered the selection tool, we covered things on controlling layers, we covered text tool, we covered paint bucket tool in terms of painting or covering your entire layer with a specific background color. We had worked with reversing color button here. This is called a reverse color button. So what it does, it reverses foreground and background and changes the color accordingly, either in terms of black and white. And we've also worked with, along with masking. Now, do remember this, in Photopea, we call it a raster mask. If you're using Photoshop, it will be called as layer mask. We also went around doing things in terms of, we went around clipping. Now, clipping is something new that we have done in the class today, and that is also a very important tool when you're working with Photoshop. So this is all that we had for today's class. Now, feel free to ask any questions. You have another about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes that I can use up with you in the class. So if you have any questions or queries, feel free to ask. This is the time. If you have any questions in regards to your assessments, please do ask. Any questions, any queries, anyone? No. If no questions or no queries, this is where we'll knock off the class for today. So thank you very much, all of you, for coming in. And I hope that you are keeping up in terms of working on your assessments, especially your short test, which is due this week, Sunday, and your assignment as well. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you all next week. By the way, the lecture notes, I will get it uploaded sometimes during the weekend. So also go and have a look at it as well. So thank you very much, everyone. See you all next week. Thank you. Goodbye for now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.